Welcome. Hopefully you're still around. Bitrate so ass. Okay, cool. Looks like it's going. Hopefully. Anyway. Yes, sir. Awesome. How we doing? How you doing today? His hand. Pretty darn good. Just came back from the gym and a cramp. What about you? I'm doing alright. Got a cramp from the gym? Because that sucks. When I was younger, I used to get calf cramps, and it just felt like somebody grabbed my calf and went like that and just twisted it. I had that happen while I was mid-run, and I just collapsed. That was crazy. So different cramps can really put you out of commission. Core. Your stomach keeps cramping. Ooh, yeah, those are rough too. Let's sculpt this out. I want this to be precise. On today, we are drawing. My friend's commissioning me to make him an album cover, so I'm making him an album cover that will suit the mood of his music. Got most of it done. I just need to work on shadows, some lighting, and then some visual effects. And this damn hand is giving me so much trouble. Because I worked it, the way that I made it initially was I just did a loose painting and then I started refining from there, but in doing that with the hand specifically, I didn't refine it enough. I didn't give myself enough room, and so I'd have to like keep erasing stuff anyway, so I'm just going to rework it. Nobody in particular. I used, I don't know if I'll get flagged if I show not full nudity. I used, just so I don't get in trouble, I used Man Ray's, I think it's called, what is her name? It's like Mary's Violin or something. It's not Mary, it's, let me find it. Essentially, it's a picture of a woman that he then turned into a violin by putting those violin sound holes on her that are like the clefts. And he did that in camera, well, while developing the film. I love Man Ray. He's really cool. He's a Dada artist. and he did a lot of experimentation with photography and integrating photography with the development process. And like he would lay things over top of the paper as it was being developed. He would like cut the baths short. He would like try different lighting things. He was very experimental. He invented rayographs, which are laying objects on light sensitive paper and then flashing them and then developing that. And he did a lot of experimental stuff as photography was kind of being talked about as replacing art. And he was like, no, it's just a new form of art, and these are ways that you can use it. So, very cool. I love the Dada artists. Man Ray, I think it's called. It's like named after the woman and calling her the violin. Ingres's violin. He was French. Le violin d'Ingres. Ingres's violin. So I'm imagining the woman's name was Ingres. I hate refining hands. Let me check him out. No, he's cool. I use that for reference. It's just a picture of a woman like looking over her shoulder. Yeah, trying to clean this up. I want to use reference. Maybe I push these together. I might do the two hands together. Bring this one down. Nah. Just experimenting. She's like caressing the moon, so I need to like maybe she. Let me do it myself. I need to see how I would lean against a wall. I think the pose is fine. I just need to clean up. Get rid of that. Keep that. I think I might do a little more sculpting here. It's too shallow. Still have, yeah, my eraser opacity is low. That's why I was like, yeah, I see the vision. Trust the process. Yeah, I gotta let it happen. I don't hate what I have. I would be fine with the result. Um, but since I have the time, I might as well. Based on the perspective, the index finger is a little too long. Thumb is not visible, but it is present. I have to keep that in mind. Maybe display the pinky out a little more. Feel like still playing around. What is your favorite thing to draw? That's a good question. I like to draw myself a lot. I always felt bad if I was doing portraits of other people and I didn't get it right, but when I was drawing myself, I can draw and mess up and be okay. So that's why I like drawing myself. I don't know, anime, you know, that type of thing. I'm trying to get more into painting, doing backgrounds, landscapes. As much as I dread drawing a background for something. Um, hmm. I feel like I need reference. I think I need to pose myself. But it's gentle. It's not a. It's a caress. It's a. She's stabilizing herself just a little bit. Maybe I can draw you. You can draw me if you want. Or are you talking to Dano? I'm glad I got my chat box to work. The reason it wasn't working was because I didn't assign a size to the text, so it just wasn't showing up. That's good to know. These fingers all feel right. I feel like this is the only one that I'm struggling with. Talking to you, me. Yeah, you can draw me if you'd like. I don't have a problem with that. I actually, when I first popped off on YouTube a little bit, a couple of people joined the Discord and just wanted to draw me, and I was like, yeah, sure. And I have a folder of fan art that I have saved on my my Instagram. Because I really enjoy when people, at the very least, are inspired to make something, but if they decide to spend their time making me, I'm honored. I would show you my self-portrait that I made somewhat recently. I was like playing around in Procreate and just trying to draw something fully rendered because I was mostly drawing cartoons and such. And I was just playing around with rendering, and I made a pretty decent self-portrait that I just haven't shared anywhere. Maybe my issue is that I'm not drawing all the details, and so this looks bad. Not bad. Looks off. There we go. I think maybe my finger proportions were just a little off. And then, if I'm hiding my thumb, I think I'll do just a sharp edge there. Try and emphasize that form. Here. Something else that I've been working on is like carving away at shapes rather than worrying about like doing lines, because I'm very line centric when it comes to my work. I always draw the outline of something, and I feel like I've gotten too into the habit of doing that, and so I have a hard time breaking that cycle if there's something that I'm drawing that doesn't have a stagnant form. So like if I'm drawing a background and I'm doing a bush or a tree, and I'll draw an outline of it, but that doesn't really encapsulate the form very well, because the form is so not just a circle. When I do an outline, I try and simplify things, and a bush is very detailed, and so to start with the circle kind of narrows my vision and can be an issue. So I'm trying to do better about drawing the form and then kind of hacking away at that, rather than just having a shape that is so definitive. Like I have a line for this hand because I was trying to make it work. You can see the lines. And that did help give it some structure, but it wasn't what I needed. If that makes sense. Let me try it a little bit. Ooh, I think I like it bent. Seeing the bits underneath. Yeah, I think I like it bent. See, like, if I had rigid lines, I wouldn't be able to just chip away like that. It's more of it's a sculpting instead of an observing, I feel like. In doing this, I think I'm more likely to consider the three-dimensionality of it. But maybe that's just how my process has kind of evolved when I do it like this. I don't know. Things to consider. I think my thing with hands is the palm connecting to the wrist and the arm and the veins on the hand. Interesting. I am working on a script for a video on how I draw hands. So it is good that you've said that, because I do kind of cover... I don't cover necessarily how they connect to the wrist, but I do make note of the hands, the veins, the variability of the hand. So hopefully what I have to say is helpful and insightful. I think a lot of what I'm making is for beginners, because I don't think I'm at a level that I can teach people who know what they're actually doing, because they would see my stuff and go, eh. No, not really. But I feel like I'm going to keep it at like a very base level of information when I'm teaching. I feel like this line needs to be lower. I feel like the thumb. Maybe there. Be on that edge. That helps. Fold my thumb over real quick. Ooh, you know what I think I need to do? I think I need to have that and then come out for the edge a little more. Make the palm a little wider. This. More distinctly the two knuckles of the thumb. And then that rounds out down here. Another tip for anybody who's trying to draw hands and struggling, just use your own as reference. I do that all the time. As much as I know the structure of the hand, I still struggle with it, and so I will not shy away from cheating by using observation. It is not cheating to use reference. I like how it looks already, but yeah, the more you tilt and bend the hand, the more depth you get. Yes, silhouette drawing. I need to start scripting because I feel I just freeball it. Yeah, I found that if I freeball it, I will ramble, and I don't want to do that. Me personally. I think I allow myself a little bit of rambling. I also like to script in jokes, just to add some pacing. I like to keep things involved. Thank you for complimenting my hand, by the way. I don't think I said thank you specifically. Yes. I think I've cleaned this. I think I just need to add some shadow and light, and that will add to this right here where the thumb and the finger join. Webbing. All right. Need to get rid of this. Don't know what that is. It's something, I'm sure. I'm gonna rework these shadows. This one, this one. Let's do that. And I think I'm comfortable merging those just so I have less to deal with. Get confused with. I found out recently that if you merge layers while they have different opacity, that it will retain the opacity of the previous layer. And I thought I knew everything about Photoshop. Just darken this so that there's no opacity to it. I don't mind a little bit of luminescence. I'll probably have to add some more to the moon, because I want her finger to be like on the edge of the moon, adding some kind of pressure. But that's fine. I would rather edit the moon than edit her. The anatomy is what's important to me. Yeah, silhouette drawing. I got another stream on. Why am I the only one in YouTube? Yeah, I'm dual streaming to Twitch. I figured out how to do that, so that's fun. Beautiful voice, so ramble on purpose. You ramble on purpose. There you go. Not a bad problem to have. Although, I feel like you always struggle with getting your comments don't show up in my chat on the stream. I don't know what that is, for some reason. I don't know, are you on mobile? Maybe? For whatever reason, I feel like you never show up in my chat, technically. But you're in my, my OBS chat, which is very interesting. Like, it never has problems picking you up there, but it won't send you to the chat. Hold on, I also want to move my chat box. Let me play with that real quick. Yeah, I set up a dual stream because I wanted to be able to do raids, and YouTube doesn't have an equivalent as of right now. Because I think that's fun, assuming I have enough people in the stream to then send somewhere else when I leave. What? Here. I want to see if that'll immediately work. Yeah, it did. Cool. Let's get up one more. I'm trying to line it up with... Yeah, okay. And then let me try and move the chat text size. There we go. Let's try... Ooh! There we go. 21 might be too big. Let's do... 20. 18. 17. 18. Okay. That looks good. I also don't like Arial, but I don't need a font right now. I don't care. I don't want to spend too much time fixing everything right now. Okay. Okay, so now I can just add shadows and highlights. I do have the moon on a separate layer. Excellent. Makes my job a lot easier. Let's do... I also recently organized all my brushes, which was me stalling on getting to work on things, but also it was important. Because now I can just know where I want to go. There we go. Okay. I might even do... Actually, we'll probably do 2 circles to make that even. Let's just do that now, so I don't forget. So that's the only part that really matters, is that do another circle, a little bit smaller. Where her finger is much smaller. I don't want it to be like a full crescent. About where it was. Yeah. Yeah, it's just clean. Okay, cool. Neat. Hi, welcome in. See right there, that part of the arm where it connects to the wrist. I hate connecting that because it never looks right. I see. Yeah, so when I do that... Sorry, I think we're having some latency issues. Depending on, you know, how bony your wrist is, I have a very bony wrist, so I can very easily tell where all my bones are. I always remember that there's a little notch on the side of the pinky. There's like that's where your bone juts out a little bit. So I usually add a little bump there, but only if I'm super bony, or the person that I'm doing is super bony. You can also get a little, like, notch there when you bend your hand to the sides. There's like a little... I saw somebody describe this as a snuff box of the human body. Because people will do drugs out of that little nook. Not me, but somebody. It's just a little cranny that holds that tendon from your thumb to your wrist. Creates a little valley that you can do in there, but if it's fully relaxed, then it's a pad. You don't have to worry about that. Hello! Welcome in. Oh my goodness. I got bony wrists. I remember I used to use Photoshop to draw. What do you use now? Did you say you use Clip Studio? My bad if I respond late, stream is late. No, you're good. It's my latency of streaming, dual streaming is what's causing that. Ah, Procreate, yeah. I also have Procreate, I just use that for when I'm on the go. So I don't want to... The problem is I don't want to add too much shadow because I kind of want the moon to also illuminate, so I'm trying to add like a middle shadow and have like a rim lighting. But I'll play with that lighting here in a moment. And then occasionally I'll do, you know, the tendons of the fingers leading down to the wrist. Might add some... I'm debating if I do like really hard light. I'll probably leave it here and then take away all the shadow and then do like a cell shading. More of a cell shading look. But currently I'm doing like just a soft lighting. Yeah, it's not bad. So what art is this? This is for my friend. This is a commission for his band. He wants me to make an album cover for him. So that's what I'm working on. Do you know how starboard works? I don't know how starboard works other than that it is the right side of the boat. And port is the left side. And I remember that because port has 5 letters and starboard has many more. Port and left have 4 letters. That's what it is. No, I don't know what starboard is. Sorry. I'm getting a little too nitty-gritty. I actually drew an album cover before. It was fun. Yeah. On the server, it was a random question. Server? You mean in the Discord server? Sorry, sometimes I forget what I've said to the chat. So maybe I said something that I don't know. Everyone's forwarding crabs. Aww. Sorry, I'm in the Discord and people are posting cute animals. Yeah. The grain on the shadows I haven't done before, so I wouldn't know that too much, but I think it's good. Thank you. Yeah, I'm using a brush that has, like, the canvas built into it, which is really nice. So it adds that texture inherently, which is nice. Do you know why the chat isn't working for your display? I just reset it, and I thought it would work, but it apparently ruined it. I don't know what the problem is. Initially, it was because I hadn't set the size for the text. I think it's because it's having trouble figuring out how to do the dual streaming and connect that. But this is a built-in thing, so I don't know why it's struggling. Like, this is not... I didn't bootstrap anything together. Let me... Yeah, it saved my text settings. Change my size. Okay, and I'll save it. Saved. Okay. Gotcha. Odd, because there's one in the chat, but then nothing else. And now it's gone. Oh! Wait. It said something about refreshing. Session data. Total. No, that's supposed to be after stream. Yeah, I don't know. Because it's still displaying in stream elements. I don't know. Yeah, I see them they keep leaving. Oh well. Oh well. I'm not super concerned with it. Okay. Where else? I want to add detail. Uh, Highlights in the hair. Might also just brighten that inherently. Just a little bit. Let's call it just a little. I just want it a little bit lighter than just black, so that there is some capacity for shadow. Yeah, colorize it. So it's more brown than just black. Keep it there. Weird. Second question about the stream. Is music playing and I have it too low? I think it has stopped since I started it. Thank you. I'm glad you like the expression. Yeah, I was going for a subtle... Well, my YouTube stream says that I'm still on BRB. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yes, I was going for a subtle expression. I don't know. Think I got it okay? But yeah, I like the lines that I have too. I think I just need to make them a little less. I don't know. I'll play with it. Music says that it's playing. It might just be very low. I can just listen to my own music if I really want to. I just want to make sure that things weren't broken. Playing now, yes. Interesting that it was not playing when I had the window minimized. Huh. I guess I'll just keep it up in the background. Let me know if it's too loud or shitty. I also encourage people to listen to their own music because this is just YouTube default. Okay. Let's do here. I also have to go right at 5, so if I dip out very quickly, I apologize, but I am anticipating traffic and I have somewhere to be. So it will be a quick, good day. Yes. What else was I gonna say? Shit, I forget. Anyway. Perfect. Okay, cool. Do I have... I feel like I have a hairbrush. Oh, where is my hairbrush? Hair wash. Or inking and effects? I look like an effects area. bomb. Oh, I have manga effects. Oh, yeah. I found a bunch of Ben-Day dots for the sake of halftones that I want to start using and at the very least experimenting with. I think those would be fun. This one is called Hair. Nah, I don't think this one's gonna work very well. Crystal Ball might actually be okay. Yeah, I think this one will be fine. I just wanted to have like stray strands. Uh, I think so. Her skin tone is more of an orange in that area, but darker, and so I'm trying to. I think maybe a blue in the hair would complement that fairly well, like right here. I think I need it darker. It's weird to do dark highlights. I don't know why. I can hear it. Okay, cool. Something you can share that you are doing or like private stuff. Like stuff that something that I was going to say. The train of thought that I forgot. No, I don't think it was something private. Oh! Thing that I was gonna go do. I'm going to the gym. I have to work out. I go to the gym with my buddy, and he gets off at like 4:30. Life stuff, not necessarily private. What do I want to do? I think I need thinner. But also, I need my light source, and my light source is kind of the top. Oh yeah, that's nice. Okay, yeah, that blends really well. I don't want to go too extreme, but I do want. Maybe I do wavy across. Yeah, I think I like that. It's the other thing. I don't draw women's hair very often. Mostly just my hair. So any hairstyle other than just like wavy on my stupid doofy face. Wow, wow, wee wah. Yeah, I don't know how to do anything other than waves or like curly, straight. I'm not making my case. I keep saying waves. My hair is. I describe it as wavy, but it's not. It's like ocean waves, like very specifically, like just jagged stalactites. part juts out, that part sinks back. This is shadow. Yeah, I guess I could go in and see. I don't think I made it bright enough to not be black. I feel like I'm still gonna have... Let me check. Let me do a color checker. See where I'm sitting. I guess I do have a little wiggle room. Oh yeah, I guess I could do dark. And do shadows in the hair. We'll play with it. Didn't know if it was like a secret thing for the studio or like doctor stuff. No, I got you. Sorry. I've lost my mind. No, nothing's secret. I'm always wondering about the line of like how much you guys want to hear, you know, if you care about personal stuff. And then also like having that separate to a degree. You don't get to know all my secrets. And I do like to keep some stuff of like upcoming plans secretive-ish. But most of the time it's not anything that I'm like, I can't tell. You're not allowed to know. Like if something leaks, I'm not going to be distraught. I'm trying to think. I'm thinking about if I just do large shapes and then chip away with an eraser and make curls. Because in theory, these have the same shape and texture as the outside. I think I did a decent job on the outside hair, the silhouette. That I just need to keep repeating these shapes interior and just have highlights on edges. But like thin. Like I feel like I'm going too thick in a certain spot. Like I think I need to break up the shape. I think what I'm doing is helping. Some randomness there. Yeah, just little spots of texture. Trying to think about studio stuff. I think I feel like I'm comfortable to share this. I won't go into detail in case it does become a thing, but somebody did reach out and then I kind of sussed them out. Initially based on their idea, I wasn't sure. But I was willing to. They haven't responded since, so probably not going to happen. But at the very least, I have people who are seeing my website, right? People are seeing my Instagram. People are seeing what we're making. So that's good. I haven't actively started seeking out clients as of yet. I'm waiting on that. I want to finish up these other projects that I've got, and then I will feel comfortable doing that. And then I think I'm going to have to get a couple of clients before Logan can go full-time with the studio. Just so that I know that we have an influx of work. If we get big enough clients right away, and there's enough money changing hands, I can have him... I don't think he would be opposed to quitting his job. But I don't know. I understand the need for stability. but I intend to soon-ish start finding clients, just like cold calling businesses, local businesses, and seeing what people would want. If anybody would like advertising or like promotional stuff, uh, and noting that we can do like just art in general, painting, or like wall art if they wanted for their like cafe or whatever. And then yeah, that'll be a minute. I'm not the type of person that wants to know like your home address or any of that super personal stuff, but if you were going through something scary, I wouldn't be there and support you. I appreciate that. I don't know that I've gone through anything horribly scary. I think I'm good. I don't know that I would share that necessarily. I feel like I'm also the type of person who doesn't want to make my problem other people's problem, which I'm working on in recognizing what is an actual problem and what is something that I can discuss with friends. Like even close friends, I won't tell about issues that I'm having, which I'm now realizing can be a problem in and of itself. So I'm trying to be better about communicating things, but I don't know that the internet is where I want to do that. But I appreciate your support, and if there was ever anything that I did need help with, I would let you guys know. However, I don't intend to ask you guys for money or support. It would be venting, if anything. But I think I do a decent enough job of knowing when I can vent online anyway. Like, I'll just make a TikTok if I'm feeling the need to vent. It's amazing what you can achieve with this brush. This is just the default hard brush on Photoshop. It's amazing what you can achieve if you go small enough. If you just zoom in close enough, you can get some good detail. Which is why I feel like I never actually go looking for brushes, is because I'm just like, I just take a longer time. I'll do halftones by hand, you know? Where my head goes. I think that looks pretty solid. Ooh, you know what? I think I want more texture on the edge. Might increase the brightness on that as well. But as of now, I like that a lot. I want to overdo it. And I do want that to be kind of a slower transition into this right side. Sculpt, and I really like these shapes that are happening right here, where it's like you can see that the waves are like stacking on each other. And then like, I keep saying waves because it does genuinely remind me of the ocean, where it like the waves kind of, if you've ever seen two waves starting really far out and they kind of just like get whiter and then connect. That's where my brain is right now. I of course want to hear about the studio's success. You always will. I'm thinking like extreme sickness or illness if you're dealing with something. Kidney stones. I got you. I would be like, my friend was dealing with that. Here's some advice. Gotcha. Yeah, I would absolutely. If I was like, I need some advice, I could do that. I don't. I'm so. I don't want to say like I'm so cool. I know everything. I don't, obviously. It's more of a. I feel like I can figure it out on my own. Like I have a weird innate sense of self independence where I'm like, I don't want to ask for help because it means I've failed in some way, shape, or form, which is really dumb. And I understand that because, especially being somebody who's trying to teach other people to reach out to the community and like, I'm trying to foster that on Discord and be like, hey, come in here, talk, ask questions, and then I also am at the same time am somebody who doesn't want to ask questions. Yeah, I'm a hypocrite. What can I say? But no, I'm trying to be better about talking to my friends about that stuff. And I would ask advice if it was something small that I didn't feel was encroaching on, being too personal, or that type of stuff. So yes, I've talked to you guys. Most of the time, I'm just here to vent. I'm just here to rant about something stupid that doesn't matter. I feel like I have a rant at least once a stream. Me personally. I'm also old, so like I have some life experiences. I feel like I'm just trying to think of instances where I would ask advice. I'll always ask input for sure. Like, especially with art stuff, I'll always be like, "What? You guys like this? Does this look good?" That type of thing. Um, maybe I'll rant about personal stuff at some point, but I don't have anything to rant about. My life is pretty chill as of right now. I'm very much the least traumatic in my circle of friends, so I'm usually the one that they will talk to, but I'm not gonna relay their information, and I don't have any of my own information to relay to you. You know what I mean? Like I don't have that same sense of drama that my friends might, that they come to me with, and I'm not telling anybody about their stuff. I'll tell you about experiences that I've had in the past of like wild stories. I'm trying to think of any wild stories that I could tell right now. As an example, should I have done this in that scenario? That type of thing. Even though I'm like way well past anything that has happened that I would be talking about. I don't know. I have this sense of like I should be able to deal with this problem on my own. Which is good most of the time, but then I also recognize that I do need help sometimes and I should have asked sooner. Let me do some shadows. Do some hair shadows. It's gonna pull up it. Yes, it is. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why my chat's not coming up anymore. Toxic masculinity doesn't want to get. It's really funny you say that because when I'm playing D&D with my friends, in my one particular friend group, or I won't even say my one particular friend group. My whole friend group is just spread out, and it's just a matter of who gathers for what. One of the campaigns that I'm in, anytime I open my mouth, everybody's like, look at him mansplaining over here, because I'm the only cis white guy in the group. So, it's very funny that you are also clocking me as being toxically masculine. It's a real good thing I've dealt with that, or I'd be really pissed off if it wasn't funny. Ugh. I do feel bad for kids, young men these days, um, who do have to deal with that and are alone, and their only role models are fucking Andrew Tate and like actual Nazis online. So it does suck that the only information they have at their fingertips, or the information that they think they have at their fingertips, is the worst kind of information. I want to be a better role model for people. I want to be able to have cis white men look up and go, hey, look at that guy. He's doing his own thing and he's not a dick. What's that like? Is it possible to harness this energy? Maybe I'll go back in and make that more yellow from the moon. Or maybe I make the moon more blue. How's that? Delete this moon. That's fine. Kind of like the blue moon. Blue moon. Frank Sinatra in here. I don't hate the blue moon. Heart stars and horseshoes, clovers, and also blue moons. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send this layer to a different document. This is a little technique for anybody out there who uses Photoshop. If I send this to a new document, I can undo everything that I just did. And then I can take it and send it back to the original. And then I don't need this anymore. And then I have a perfect duplicate. And I can decide that later. Life hack. I do that all the time. I'm always like, oh man, I want to save this because I want to go back to where I was, back to the step that I was at, so then I can progress in a different way. I'm indecisive sometimes, and so I go, oh, I want to go that way at some point, but I want to go from here too. So I'll set that like a little notch in the branch of where those routes go, and then I'll just save one, and then I'll go the other way, and that's how I do that. In case I ever want to go back and do something else, and not make it complicated, and also not lose the progress that I made in going that other path. It does require that I make sure that I'm counting my steps so that I'm not going too far away. I think my Photoshop goes back, it like retains up to 50 steps of memory, or actions that I can go back to. I kind of don't mind how rough it's on. Still using the different brush. What was I using? This one? Or something similar. don't like what I've done. I'm not saying you're mansplaining, but I am going to call you out for being a skater boy. Thing is that toxic masculinity isn't a new thing. We've just finally labeled it. I do think that you are doing a great job at not being dick about things, but I also believe it's not that high of a bar. Yeah, yeah, that is really crazy, and I feel really bad about that. I appreciate you saying that, first of all. Not trying to get that out of you. I'm not fishing for compliments. Yes, I have recently encountered the idea that there are some wild men out there that just need to be put in their place. Just genuinely need to be told to shut the fuck up. And that there aren't enough sources of that, and that women aren't required to be the ones to do that, even though they are the target oftentimes. Like, there just needs to be more men who are willing to stand up to other men and go, hey, you need to stop doing what you're doing. Because there is a sense of authority, for whatever reason, well, we know why, that my white guy voice carries that a woman or a, whatever minority, whoever, wouldn't get through. Not that what they're saying isn't valid, but that it wouldn't get through to that audience. And that's the problem, is that, like, there are too many people who just will hear something from one person's mouth and go, that's crazy, I don't like that, and hear it from a different person's mouth and be like, oh, okay. But it's the exact same thing. Exactly the same. You could say it in the same cadence, you could say it with the same volatility, you could say it with the same whatever, and they'll just hear it differently because a different person said it. A different person of a different skin tone, of a different persuasion, of a different religion, whatever it is. And it's crazy to me. I don't need to give you compliments. I give it freely. Thank you. So I'm trying to be somebody who is willing to speak up and go, hey, maybe don't say that because that's fucking insane. You're a crazy person. Stop that. Because I'm sure that the people who are the target of that rhetoric are tired of having to say it and tired of it not being heard. So, allow me. Yeah. Just a lot of guys who don't take no for an answer too, which is a fucking problem. Like, I'll admit, it took me a long time to recognize the inherent danger there is to a guy who isn't willing to take no for an answer, or who isn't willing to look internally. I think I've always been pretty introspective. I've always been able to reflect on my actions and go, that was fucked up, or that was fine, but maybe not the right way to say it, type of thing. Anyway, recognize that there is like an inherent sense of danger around certain men, and that I need to make myself not a danger, and in doing so, I need to be able to let people tell me how to act, or what to do, or where to be, and that then tells them that I am somebody who is willing to bend. And there are a lot of men who are not willing to bend, and those are dangerous men. So, just little, not sacrifices, but like little moments of like, yeah. Because there are instances where I think I'm right, and maybe I am, but I'm not going to like push back super hard because it's not something that matters to me. So I'll just be like, yeah, okay. Even if it's maybe wrong, but me being like I'm going to mansplain, or you're wrong because you're a woman or whatever, is a dangerous person to be around, and so I don't want to be that guy. Yeah. I'm learning that there are a lot more men out there who don't take no for an answer. And I think I have a hard time recognizing how often that exists, because the men that I surround myself with wouldn't do that. I have a very good circle of friends, and the men that I am friends with are not the kind of men to do those things, and so I am always shocked when I hear that that's very frequent, just because of the people that I surround myself with. Yeah. Adjustments is a better word, not sacrifices, yes. Yes. I knew that sacrifices was too harsh a word. Sorry, I have scab on my leg. Got a bunch of mosquito bites. That's the other thing. I've been really lucky, and I haven't been exposed to it a lot. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that it's. I don't want to say. No, I will say. I think because of how dramatic the shift of like you have to be this or you have to be this type of split, whether it be politically or like just socially, I think it's getting a little easier to tell who is safe and who is not. Just but like we're getting better at figuring out dog whistles, at figuring out just those little things. Even if it's like a quick little like a goofy thing on TikTok that's like it's a red flag if your boyfriend won't take out the trash or what. I don't have a good example right now, but like in those things spreading so quickly, there are people who will actually be able to tie those to real life, like, no, this is a trend, like if a guy does this, they're also likely to do this type of thing. Um, and I think we're getting really good at that, which is helpful for me. I have pretty good pattern recognition, and so I recognize like, oh, I've seen that before in somebody else who I didn't like. I'm going to keep an eye on that. Not necessarily that I'm holding that against somebody, because sometimes there's a one-off experience that I have, and I'm like, that was shitty, but maybe they were having a bad day, whatever. But I'm pretty good at pattern recognition and knowing that if this is happening several times, I think you're likely to do something else. So it feels far off, insane, fictional, but I know that it's true. Yeah. I am aware of. I'm not disenfranchised to the fact that there are crazy things that happen out there, and I do believe when people tell me crazy things that have happened to them. But it's so far removed from my personal experience that it is harder to believe. Not necessarily that I can't believe it. It's just it's exposure bias, right? It's that I haven't seen this personally, so I have a hard time grasping it. But I have a really good imagination, which helps me a lot, and I have empathy, so that helps me a lot as well. And I think that there are a lot of people out there who don't have empathy and who don't have an imagination, and so they don't believe people until it happens directly to them. And that's a big problem happening politically, in that people are like, oh, that's not going to happen. And then it happens to them specifically, and then they go, oh, man, why didn't anybody tell me? And it's like, oh dear. Oh dear. Anyway. That is probably one of my biggest pet peeves, is when people aren't willing to fathom something. If you're just like, hypothetically speaking, let's say that this happens because this happened, and we know that it probably will based on history. It'll repeat itself. And people go, that won't happen. And it's like, just pretend. Just pretend for like a second. Just use your brain and just imagine. Wouldn't that be bad? And they're like, no, I can't think of that. And it's like, but do. Like, it has happened. It is possible. What? It's really frustrating to me. I don't disbelieve people. I absolutely am the type to go into a fight for somebody. I believe in helping people. That's a good way to do it, too. Okay. And being kind. Absolutely. Always. Always being kind. I lead with kindness. But I can be a jerk if I need to be. I need to clean up these shoes first and foremost. Honestly, I like the messiness over here, but I do want to fill in these gaps. I also might ask him if he wants me to do a different type of shoe. I like the Vans style. You like that better? I think it was just a little too choppy down there, but I do like keeping a little bit of that flavor. Oh yeah, I was going to suggest adding some details from the songs if you can. So like scribbles on the jeans or trinkets. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. I should ask him. He sent me two songs. I should ask him if he wants any like uh not cameos. What are those called? Easter eggs. That's the word. Any Easter eggs? Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll ask him. Text him right now. I will use the word trinkets very specifically to help jumpstart his imagination on things that I can incorporate. It's a good little verbiage. Little trinkets, or I'm trying to think. Like I could do like a little phone dangly bit, or I could do like her fingernails are painted a certain color or a certain way. Little stuff like I could do little details there, or I could do like a. I could put something on her T-shirt. I could make it a specific color. I just picked colors arbitrarily, and he was like, "Yeah, looks good." And I was like, "Okay, I guess whatever." Makes it easy for me. Make it easier for me to do wrinkles and shadows if it's just a blank white T-shirt. Be a great band name, Blank White Tees. Yeah, like trinkets or like patches on her jeans, stuff like that. That would be fun too. I could just add my signature on her butt. Oh, that's something else I wanted to do was adding a different shade of shadow here. I'll go a little darker. There. Oh, I put the wrong shadow there. Yeah, I could have something sticking out of her pocket. I always wonder about pushing the boundaries of YouTube censorship when it comes to like figure drawing. I wonder if it would consider this porn because it is like a butt, you know? Obviously it won't, that's why I'm not worried about it, but like how close to that edge can you get before it's like, this is porn? And it's like, first of all, it's figure drawing. None of this is porn. It was expressly for a purpose. This is for learning. They don't want to. They don't want to deal with it. They just want to go, oh, blanket statement, blanket cover. And I also understand that there are people who are gonna push the boundary on purpose and be a jerk and ruin it for everybody else by being like, oh, I'll just do a hot tub stream. I'm not naked. I'm in a hot tub. And it's like, okay, can we? You're making it harder for me. Just be normal. Just be normal. And I understand that you're trying to sell sex, but just go do OnlyFans. There are places for you to perform those things specifically. And it's a lot easier to stand up. It's a whole, and I have opinions. I have opinions on these things. I don't want to shame people. I personally don't care. But I also recognize it's the whole argument of like the internet and like this all this ID stuff for the internet, which I know is bad. We don't want to have to ID everybody on the internet. There is safety in anonymity, which is harmful and beneficial in separate instances. But it's not going to protect children. Children will find workarounds. They will just paint a mustache onto an ID. They will do whatever it is to get access to that thing as long as they are unsupervised. Ultimately, it boils down to who is watching your kids. We can't protect all of them just by putting blanket shadow bans on websites. Like, but I don't think that Twitch should be restricting certain things for fear that children will see them, because children will see them if they want to. As long as you're not actively advertising something, like just put anything that is under a certain category not on the main page. So if people want to do hot tub streams, they can, but it's in a category that's not going to show up right away that children would just stumble upon, right? If that's the concern. Don't make it so that people can't do it. Make it so that it's not obvious and you have that capacity to do that. Because kids are going to find it regardless. It's just this whole idea of like liability and like fucking, it doesn't matter. Anything could do that. Anything could do that. Stop worrying about that. So I think people should be allowed to do hot tub streams, but don't make it impact the art streams that I can't do nude models because that's porn. Because you keep making things that aren't porn into porn. Stop it. Okay. I'm not saying I ever did this, but kids will just lie about their age. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, obviously. Even if they require ID, they'll just use their older siblings. There are fake IDs everywhere. Everyone on campus that I was aware of had a fake ID. I didn't. I actually followed the rule. I can tell you 100% honestly, I did not have a fake ID, and I did not go into bars underage. I didn't drink alcohol. I didn't drink alcohol before I was 21. Yeah, I didn't do any. I haven't smoked a cigarette ever. So I didn't do that one. I'm trying to think of any other like age restricted. Like I obeyed the rules because I was so horrified that I was like, I'm gonna go to jail if I do anything that's even remotely bad. Even though that's not the case. But yeah, I did lie about my age on the website because that was super easy, and it's not legally like if I lied on RuneScape so that I could play, I think it was like you had to be 12 and I might have been 10, and I was like, I want to play RuneScape. Yeah, I'm gonna play it's a game. It's a game. Oh yeah, that was the one thing. I did buy an M-rated game, or my friend bought me an M-rated game and handed it to me, like right out of the GameStop. Like, so we broke the rules in that you're not supposed to play M games when you're not 17 or whatever, but that's not enforced by the law. It's just we really shouldn't do this. And it's like, anyway. Stop No, I have fucking bots in here. God damn it. Ban. Ban. I'm glad those didn't show up in the chat. That's nice. Interesting. Maybe I'm only getting YouTube. I think I'm very slowly parsing why I'm only getting certain chats. I think I'm figuring out that YouTube is my hosting platform. And so I think that that's what it defaults to when it's receiving information. And Twitch is just being daisy chained to from YouTube. So, I think that's my issue. So it's simply not receiving information from Twitch, and it's just getting the YouTube comments. So since you're on Twitch, that's why it's not showing up, I think. Well, it also got rid of comments. Maybe it only keeps comments that people that are in the chat. I don't know. I don't know how it works. I have very limited options. The chat bot through, or the chat box tool through Stream Elements is very lackluster. I don't need to see stream on stream. I can read comments in mine. I was mostly worried about my multi-chat, which works really well, actually. It just shows, it has a little icon, actually, of who's from where, so I can see that you're on Twitch. Really nice. Anyway, talk about certain things. Get certain bots. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, anywho. Yeah, I don't need that. You will not find me buying bots. I'm not gonna do that. That is not me. I'm looking at her and I'm thinking maybe I need... Just remake the... I don't want to move the feet. I already moved the feet separately. And I feel like I can't go much farther down. I really like the shadows on the legs here. Is it obvious enough that her legs are crossed? I want to make sure that it doesn't look crazy. Sorry, my friend responded. So sorry. My friend just sent me the craziest meme. Oh, Jesus. I'm sorry. Holy shit. I think it reads just fine. Okay, cool. I don't know how you could make it any more obvious either. Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. Sorry, I totally lost my train of thought. Yeah, I think I need to make the circle a little bit bigger, just because the way that she's separated. I'll share it in the Discord. Sorry, I'll answer all of your questions and more. I think the length, the proportions are correct. I just want to. I love that I'm using my fingers and you can't see where my fingers are. I think I need less space on the moon. I think the moon needs to be a little more thin to fit her butt on properly. Yeah, that looks better. Okay. Problem solved. Easy. Okay. Yeah, I'll share it in the Discord real quick. The context was he was telling me to shut the fuck up about something I had said. It was the most out-of-pocket meme that I have ever seen in my life. Is that... Hold on. Now that I'm looking at it closer, I think that's Joe Biden. Oh my god, that's crazy. Oh my god. Holy shit. Chat, should I get a restraining order? Oh my god. Oh my god. See all the crabs? I'm gonna let it is Biden. I think it's Joe Biden with a gun. Oh Jesus. Oh my god. Holy shit. That actually made me cry. It has to it has to be Photoshop. I don't know what part of it is Photoshop, but I think it must be his hand. I think his whole hand is just Photoshop. No, because he's holding her other hand like this. At the best, this looks like he was initially pointing at her in a very strange way. I don't know the context of that image, but I do really like it. And I know that it's almost certainly Photoshop and not AI because he's very starkly against AI. So fucking funny. Oh, a tattoo. Interesting concept. Oh, it has. I mean, obviously it's Photoshop, but like, I was wondering if it was AI or Photoshop. She's happy to see him, and he's pointing at her in that old politician way. Yeah, of course. You know how they. I love when people put their finger in my face. I love that. I understand it's loud, whatever. Oh, I didn't do any hair shadows. I feel like the blue with the yellow in the background is like. Fuck, I just realized her hand is now not touching the moon. Yeah, can't do that. I'm in quite the pickle. I think it's fine. I think it's fine. I think her butt's just hanging off a little bit. I think it's fine. I'll get over it. I was going to point that out, but I didn't see a huge problem with it. I mean, you can always move the hand. I could, but then I have to move the arm, and I have to... Every time... Okay. This is for anybody who doesn't use Photoshop often. Photoshop is render-based. And Clip Studio Paint or Toon Boom, those types of apps are vector-based. And so when you're using render, you have pixels on the screen. And those pixels are permanently locked in a specific orientation. If you are to rotate those pixels in any cardinal orientation other than a 90-degree rotation, those pixels will be aliased. And the system, the software, is going to guess, it's going to make its best guess on those edges where those pixels would line up if it was an imperfect angle that it's moving at, because they're the pixels are squares, so you can only rotate them 4 different directions and keep them exactly how they were. If you skew a cube at a 75-degree angle, it's going to fill in the blocks around it and try and guess as to what that shade would be. So it inherently drops the pixels of your art. It will inherently make it less detailed. And this is in render software. In vector, you have geometry that is represented on the screen. And that geometry has a final size to the software. So if you're in Illustrator, if you're in Toon Boom, whatever it is, the art that you're using is tethered to geometry. So in Toon Boom, if you draw a line, there is geometry underneath that line that you can get rid of, and then it gets rid of that line. But that line is represented in a way that you can manipulate it. You can make it as big or as small as you want, and it won't lose render capacity. It'll always keep that same, whatever you're exporting it at, it then converts it into render just because of movie files. But it will keep that same fidelity of the line. So you don't lose anything if you're rotating, because it's all within the software. So in Photoshop, when I'm painting, I never want to rotate anything, because then I have to paint back over it, because it's losing its fidelity. And so I want to make sure that it's always the highest quality if I care about it, and I care about this. So I don't want to have to go all the way back. I know, you just have to redraw it. You're close to making up all the hands I owe you. That is true, I've been doing hands. And I think I will have made up as many hands as I owe you for once I do this hand video. I have it scripted, I need to record, and then I need to, for certain spots, I have moments where I'm like explaining something, and so I'm going to go through and draw what I'm explaining, just so I have a one-to-one representation of the thing that I'm trying to summarize. So I will be drawing more hands very soon. And I like this hand too. Okay, what do I still need to do? I did highlights in her hair. I need to do shadows in her hair. I need to light her face. I need to get rid of this line. This is too thick. chin. Trying to find a happy medium between line and shadow. Because all of this face part is line. I don't want to get rid of it, because it does add detail. The implied line is enough. That's going to piss me off when I come back to clean this up again, but... can't even really see it. Maybe I'll do more... think what I'm going to do is I'll do hair highlights that are more white, and then that'll make the middle highlights more of the actual hair color. I think that's a good idea. And then I will also add hair highlights that are direct lighting from the moon, because I want the moon to be luminescent. Yeah. Oh, but it's 5 o'clock. I forgot to set an alarm. Shit. So I do have to dip out. I apologize. But we will do this again next time. Wednesday should be good for Wednesday. Do character wheel. I might work on projects instead of character wheel, depending on who shows up. As much as I love doing the character wheel, I do have some things that I need to get done. So we shall see where we're at. But thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Hopefully you learned something. If you didn't, you will next time. So tune in then. Bye.